knock him out in the first round. Once he's gonna start to walk forward, I'm gonna start with my combinations and I'm gonna put him to sleep. But at the end of the day, all the respects for Charles. We respect him. We appreciate for everything he has done in the sport. He's an amazing sportsman. That's all, because he knows that I'm dangerous. He knows that I'm gonna put him to sleep. Even Khabib. The only reason they don't want me to fight against him, because they know that I'm gonna beat him.
Ilia Topuria is calling out Islam Makhachev and his camp, including Khabib Nurmagomedov, accusing them of dodging a fight with him because they know he could defeat Islam. Meanwhile, Makhachev has responded to the constant criticism he faces. He pointed out that despite defeating Alexander Volkanovski twice, many still dismiss those wins by saying Volkanovski was a smaller opponent from a different division. Makhachev believes that even if he beats Topuria, people will continue with the same narrative.
Okay, I beat the Volkanovski twice. People still say, you beat small guy, he's not your weight division. If I beat Topuria, it's gonna be the same. Everybody gonna talk same. But if I go up, takes a second belt, this is a legacy.
Despite everything, Ilia Topuria admitted that fighting Charles Oliveira was never his true intention. He revealed that his main target has always been Islam Makhachev. However, since Makhachev seems to be avoiding him, Topuria said he's left with no other option but to challenge Oliveira instead.
At some point, I was a little bit sad because I didn't want to fight against him since the beginning. My real goal always was Islam. But since he decided to run away, it has to be Charles.
Additionally, Demetrios Johnson gave his detailed analysis, explaining that since Islam fights as a southpaw, he will probably rely on body kicks, smart footwork, and feints to manage the range. Johnson also mentioned that Islam could use his judo skills to bring the fight to the mat and then try to secure a submission.
Well, Islam's a southpaw, so he's gonna probably throw body kicks to keep his arms busy, keep the distance, move, feint, maybe use some judo to take him down and try to get him to the ground and try to submit him. But, you know, once again, like I have to see, I have to see what Islam does at JDM.
Johnson also pointed out that Ilia becomes extremely dangerous once he finds his range to land strikes, and if he doesn't find it immediately, he always manages to create an opening sooner or later. According to Johnson, the key question is whether Islam can stay away from that danger zone or if he decides to confront Ilia there.
Oh, the one thing that's the factor is that Ilia is always going to focus on getting to the right spot and fighting his opponents. When he gets there, he's going to unload. If Ilia can't get there, then he's going to figure out another way to get there. So the question is, how does everybody avoid that sweet spot against Ilia? That's the question, because Ilia is going to fight in a 25-minute fight. That's what it comes down to. And then you go from like, hey, how does Islam keep Ilia away from that spot, or does Islam meet him there? Right? There's so much, that goes into it, and my brain is all over the place. So for me to give like a clear-cut answer, I'm just like, I'm running around in circles.
But Ilia Topuria argued that Islam Makhachev decided to move up to welterweight just to avoid facing him. He claimed that if the UFC had matched Islam against someone like Justin Gaethje, he would have remained at lightweight. Topuria is convinced that Islam sees him as a real danger who could knock him out, and even Khabib doesn't want this fight to happen because they know he has what it takes to defeat Islam.
Ilia to avoid you? Is he scared to fight you?
Listen, I think that he took a great decision. If the UFC would offer him to fight against Justin Gaethje or some another contender in the division, I think that he would stay at 155. But with me coming up, he was like, I don't have to take this risk. I'm gonna move up to the 170. I'm gonna try to get another belt, and that's all, because he knows that I'm dangerous. He knows that I'm gonna put him to sleep. Even Khabib. The only reason they don't want me to fight against him, because they know that I'm gonna beat him.
In a separate interview, Ilia mentioned that he doesn't actually think Islam Makhachev is scared of him. He believes Islam simply has his own ambitions and is focused on different plans right now. However, Topuria feels confident that their paths will cross eventually, whether he decides to move up in weight or if Islam comes back down to lightweight, giving fans the massive showdown they're waiting for.
This was meant to be Islam, that was the big talk, but he moved up to welterweight. Do you believe he moved up to welterweight to avoid you, or because he has his own goals?
because he has his own goals. This is what I think.
Do you still think that's a fight that should happen? You guys are both forging legacies in different weight divisions. Do you think that's a massive fight that should happen?
We'll see how he does in the welterweight division. If he wins the title, I win the title in the lightweight division. Maybe I move up or he comes down to the lightweight division and we have the fight that everyone wants to see.
Additionally, Darius shared his thoughts on the matchup, saying he believes Islam Makhachev would still have the advantage because of his size and the way he combines controlling distance with his wrestling. Darius explained that as long as Islam uses his kicks effectively and wrestles intelligently, it would be a difficult fight for Ilia, however. He also admitted that from what he's seen of Ilia's striking power, he wouldn't be surprised if Ilia ended up knocking Islam out.
I think it would still go the same. I think, Islam has such a big size advantage, and if he, distance kicks, takedown, rinse and repeat. If he continues to mix those things up, I think it would be a difficult fight for Ilia. But from what I saw, it wouldn't surprise me if he was able to put Makhachev's lights out too.
Corey Sandhagen shared his prediction, saying he thinks Ilia Topuria would come out on top if he faced Islam Makhachev. According to Sandhagen, Ilia's physique makes him difficult to take down, and when it comes to striking, Ilia is far more dangerous. He also mentioned that Ilia's defensive skills are impressive, and he doesn't see Islam being able to do any significant damage to him.
I honestly think Ilia would win that fight.
Let me get your breakdown of that fight.
I'm gonna actually go against, I think, what most people say, and I honestly think Ilia would win that fight. I think his stature is gonna be hard to take down for Islam, and I think if those two are standing, I just think that Ilia is a way dangerous guy standing, and I just can't really see Islam hurting him because his guard is real good, and I think Ilia will win that one.
Finally, Ilia Topuria shared that his ultimate goal would be for Islam Makhachev to capture the welterweight title, so that he could then move up to 170 pounds himself and challenge Islam for what would be his third championship belt.
I would love to see Islam getting the title and the UFC letting me go up to 117 and getting the third belt.
Additionally, Bilal Muhammad commented that while Ilia displayed impressive grappling skills against Oliveira, going up against Islam Makhachev would be an entirely different challenge. He explained that Islam's dominance in control, relentless pressure, and takedown ability would force Ilia into difficult situations and truly test his conditioning, particularly as the fight goes into the later rounds.
See, the fight everybody wants to see is him in Islam. He showed that he does have wrestling defense. He defended Oliveira's takedowns on the ground. He passed his guard. He got to good positions on the ground. I know people are saying, oh, he got up from the ground, he didn't play the guard. It's like, he played the ground a little bit, then he got up, and then he knocked him out. So I don't know what you guys want. Everybody they're never satisfied, but I mean, he looked great. For me, when I look at that matchup and I break it down, I think Islam is very good with defense and with distance. If he's close, he's grappling. He's not staying in that brawling zone that Topuria loves. If he's within grabbing your range, he's grabbing you. And I don't care if Topuria is able to defend the first or second takedown, Islam's gonna keep you there. He's gonna push you on the cage. If I'm in Islam's corner, that's what I'm doing. I'm keeping him there, especially for the first, second, third round, trying to initiate that takedown. Oliveira got the body lock pretty early. Islam is really good there with the trips, with the body locks, with the single legs there. I think he would have continued grappling there, and it would have been a lot more interesting. It would have definitely got past the first round, and we would have seen how Topuria held up. He didn't really need to show his cardio.
Also added that a fight between Ilia and Islam is a must-see matchup and would be thrilling for the fans. He explained that it's not just a typical striker versus grappler scenario, especially since Islam has proven his striking skills in his recent bouts. According to Bello, Ilia will likely try to keep the pressure on, force Islam to move backward, and control the octagon, a situation where Islam isn't as comfortable.
I'm excited for it. If it does happen, I do think it needs to happen. Stylistically, I don't think it's grappler against striker. Islam showed his last couple fights that he is comfortable on the feet. He's fought the shorter guy in Volkanovski, and he's played a little bit striking. He showed moments in that fight where he knocked him out with a head kick. And then the Dustin fight, he showed his boxing. He showed that he can hit on the feet. I think with Topuria, who does have really good grappling, really good wrestling, he's gonna wanna push Islam backwards, keeping Islam on his back foot, keeping Islam against the cage where he's uncomfortable, and he's really good with his feinting. He doesn't really throw a lot of kicks.
Finally, Belal mentioned that Islam is excellent with his kicks and knows how to avoid staying within boxing range unless he's ready to grapple. He also believes that both Ilia and Islam are probably already in talks with the UFC to set up this fight. Regarding Ilia's current standing, Belal feels he's rated just right, neither underrated nor overrated, highlighting his knockout victories over Holloway, Volkanovski and Oliveira as proof. He praised Ilia for always delivering on his words and earning the respect he deserves.
On the other side, Islam is really good with his kicks. If he mixes the kicks up low, body, high, Islam's not going to be in that boxing range unless he's grabbing you. I'm sure both of them are on the call or are on the line right now talking to Hunter or Dana, and they're trying to work that fight. Is Topuria underrated or overrated? I mean, I think he's rated right? He's your last 3 wins, be a knockout of Holloway, who's never been knocked out before, to knock out Volk, who looked great his last fight, and then now just to knock out Oliveira at 155 upper weight class. I mean, how can you deny the guy? He talks and he says what he's gonna do and he does it. So you gotta respect him, you gotta give it to him. But yeah, I don't think he's underrated at all.
Arman Sarukian expressed his strong belief that if Islam Makhachev had fought Ilia at UFC 317, the fight would have ended with a knockout. He didn't hold back in his opinion, suggesting that big changes are on the way for the division. While he respects Islam's skills and sees him as fighting on another level, Arman's main goal remains to rise above everyone else and establish himself as the #1 fighter in the world.
What do you think would have happened if Ilia fought Islam this weekend?
Islam Makhachev.
He would have beaten him?
By TKO.
Oh wow, really?
No, I mean, that's a different level of fighters.
You think so? Wow.
You can't compare Ilia versus Islam.
Really? I have Ilia #1 pound for pound now.
Yes, because Islam not champion anymore right now.
Right.
But when he get the second title, he's gonna be pound for pound #1.
So you think he beats Jack?
He beats Jack.
Yeah.
Became a pound for pound #1. I'll be pound for pound #2 champion lightweight division, and then beat Islam and became a pound for pound #1.
Wow, I love it. You have it all mapped out.
Aaron Pico shared his thoughts, saying that Ilia proved himself as a true champion by calling out opponents and then delivering in the cage. However, he noted that things have shifted now with Ilia vacating his title. Pico believes a matchup between Ilia and Islam would be exciting for the sport because of their contrasting styles, but he feels that Islam could be just a little too much for Ilia to handle.
That's what a champion essentially is supposed to look like. Make the calls, go out there, deliver on the calls. Then all of a sudden vacates the title. I mean, how do you feel? Because you said earlier, like you were looking at him and going, there's holes here.
I think it's good for the sport, to be honest with you. I mean, him and Islam, I mean, people really want to see that. Everybody has their own style, and it seems like his style is just doing what he did. Honestly, I believe Islam is just a little too much for him, but I'm also a fan, you know, so I would love to see.
George's St. Pierre shared his perspective on the potential matchup, highlighting the elite skills that both fighters possess. He noted that when Islam Makhachev lands his shots, his opponents usually go down, which speaks volumes about his dominance. Topuria also praised Islam's constant pressure and world-class grappling abilities. In his view, since both fighters are so well-rounded, their fight would be an incredibly exciting one for the fans.
Yeah, I mean, that's another same thing. I mean, Topuria, when he touches, it falls, you know, and on the other side, Makhachev, he applies so much pressure. He's an elite grappler. I mean, they're both good in every area. It's a great fight for the fans.
In another interview, George's STPA discussed the remarkable skills of both fighters, explaining that it's those talents that have made Makhachev the champion. However, he also emphasized that no one in the sport is invincible. Topuria reminded everyone that even the greatest fighters can have an off night, and defeat is always a possibility for anyone.
Skill set are amazing. I mean, he's champion for a reason, but nobody is invincible. Everybody can lose, everybody can make a mistake. And yeah, there's a lot of competition in this weight class.
MMA Guru shared his analysis of a possible matchup between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, saying that Topuria would need to come out aggressive and aim for an early finish within the first 2 rounds. He acknowledged Makhachev's powerful grappling and his capability to end fights quickly, but still feels there's a genuine possibility for an upset. Guru added that watching Topuria connect with a clean strike and knock Makhachev out would be an absolutely wild and unforgettable moment for fans.
He's got a round or 2 to put away Makhachev. Makhachev's good at putting away people in a round or 2 with his grapplings. I think he's up against the odds, but he can definitely pull it off.
And would you just love to see Ilia clip Islam on the chin and just sleep him?
It'd be funny. I want it to win.
Michael Chandler pointed out that Islam Makhachev holds a definite size advantage over Ilia Topuria in the lightweight division. He praised Islam's exceptional grappling abilities, but admitted that Ilia has the upper hand when it comes to striking. Chandler explained that if Ilia can keep the fight standing, he has a real shot, but overall, he believes Islam's power, experience, and well-rounded skill set would likely secure him the win.
If Islam fights Ilia, I mean, I think there's definitely a size difference. I think Ilia is a lot smaller than Islam. Islam is a big lightweight, a tall lightweight, and he's good in every area. However, Ilia's definitely got the edge in the striking department, and Ilia is very, very, very patient. Now, if he's able to not get taken down and he's able to just patiently break down Islam with those big shots that he lands, the big punches that he lands, it's going to be a good night for Ilia. But I think if Islam gets his hands on him and gets him taken down, I mean, grappling with 145-pounders is a lot different than grappling with Islam, who is one of the best grapplers that we've seen in a very long time. He's strong, he's great at doing damage and getting good positions. I'd have to give the edge to Islam just by size, by strength of schedule thus far, and defending the belt, but I wouldn't count Ilia out.
Jorge Masvidal shared his complete confidence in Ilia Topuria's grappling abilities, saying he'd put all his money on him. He pointed out Ilia's solid takedown defense and how quickly he can reverse the situation if an opponent slips up while trying to wrestle him. Masvidal believes that Ilia's ground game is highly dangerous and has the potential to change the momentum of a fight in an instant.
I bet the house on Ilia. His grappling, offensively, it's very good. If like you shoot it on this guy's legs and you make a mistake and you're the one going for the takedown, he has a very good chance that he might put you.
Bo Nickel called Islam Makhachev the top pound-for-pound fighter right now, but acknowledged that Ilia Topuria is a serious threat. He referred to Volkanovski's impressive performance in his first fight against Islam, explaining that it proves Topuria could also compete well with him, both in grappling exchanges and in the overall fight.
I think he's the pound-for-pound #1 right now, and I think he can win. And what makes me think that Ilia will do really well against Islam is that Volk's first fight with Islam, I'm like, man, Ilia's wrestling is way better than Volk's, and obviously you could see how the striking went.
Mike Perry expressed his enthusiasm about a potential clash between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, calling it a fight that everyone needs to see. He complimented Ilia on his impressive performances and pointed out the intense support he receives from fans in Spain, while Islam has the full backing of Russia. Perry added that the energy and passion from both fan bases would make this matchup even more electrifying.
Anyways, Ilia versus Islam is a really cool fight. Ilia's been great. The people of Spain and versus the people of Russia. We know there's two really big support systems there. That's a great fight.
Joe Rogan showed his support for Ilia Topuria getting a chance at the lightweight title, saying he's definitely earned it. Rogan highlighted that after knocking out big names like Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski, there's no doubt that Ilia deserves this opportunity. He added that Topuria has proven himself time and again and is more than ready to step up and compete at 155 pounds.
Because you have a world champion versus a world champion. Like, if anybody deserves a fight for the world title in the next weight class, it's you. It's simple. It's simple. You knocked out Max Holloway. I mean, it's simple. You knocked out Alexander Volkanovski, one of the greatest of all time. It's simple. That's a no-brainer. That's the fight. You know, he doesn't want to fight 45 anymore. He wants to fight 55. World title shot.
That wraps up today's video. What do you think about this matchup? Let us know your opinions down in the comments. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel, and make sure to check out some of our other videos appearing on your screen right now.